Hello everyone, I'm Steve, Mark's out shopping, and this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Welcome or welcome back, and happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday. Um, just wanted to check in. Bit of a mental health check-in. Last night on Mondays with Mark, which I rarely appear in anyway, Mark had said there was some personal business, which is why our video came out late. I hate those kind of cliffhangers when other people do them. So, in the interest of some disclosure, I'll let you know I was the personal business that had to be attended to. Um, so, just to give you a kind of a look into the last, we'll say, 24 hours or so, in my life. And this isn't meant to be, well, how can I put this? This is just meant to share some information, maybe give you some insight into what a 24-hour period when a semi could have turned into a crisis thing happens if you have a mental health issue. Not necessarily look how brave I am, or poor me, or I have it harder than anyone. There's millions of people with mental health issues, but this is how mine played out over the last day. So it's bizarre enough and still close to home that I'm kind of giggling about it, so bear with. So I'm at work yesterday, and day's going on okay. Started with an okay morning. It was a Monday morning, but like Monday mornings are rough, so I kind of like wrote it off. Got through lunch, and then in the afternoon started to feel like a little antsy, a little amped, a little antsy. Normally I'm much more sedate when I'm at work. It's just kind of my temperament, given the kind of folks that I work with. I try to keep it on the level. Getting antsy, trying to do some paperwork, can't concentrate. So in the car, get home before Mark. Trying to do stuff around the house. I'm trying to like make the bed, do the dishes, like all that stuff, and I'm getting distracted. Then I think I'm starting to have like a panic attack because I'm starting to feel like I'm going crazy over and then I think I'm going crazy over going crazy, and it's all starting to loop back on itself. I'm like, oh god, and is this the time I lose it for good? So I'm starting to now pile on symptoms that I haven't had in a very long time. Thoughts that I hadn't had in a very long time started to come up. And then on top of feeling like I'm losing control of myself and losing control of my mind, so I'm having some symptoms, then I start having some feelings over the top of it. And the feelings going over the top of it are guilt. I just ruined Mark's day. He probably thought he was coming home to a nice normal evening, and here I am, a wailing, crying pile for no reason in particular at all. And now I'm guilty because I think I ruined his day. Usually when something like this happens, keep my parents in the loop. I don't want to worry them. It's really not a good time to miss even half a day of work or a day of work, but I have to keep them in the loop with what's going on too. So I'm like, okay, how many people can I disappoint in one day? What do we do? Do we hear 10? Do we hear 20? So that's piling on top of it. So I felt like I was in a catch-22. It's like I can suck it up and stay a little sick or crazy or however you want to frame it, and try to just work it out and continue about my days and my responsibilities. There's Bandit. He's been decent company today. Or I can take some time and try to seek out some treatment, which will also delay me being able to do all my responsibilities. So it's like, no matter what I do, it feels like life would have to go on hold. Now, health comes first. Anyone who would come to me and say, what should I do? I would say, your health comes first. Of course it comes first. But me, being special and a martyr, and feeling like I have to do superhuman things, because I'm such an egotistical whatever, because it's my work, I tie my mental wellness and recovery into my pride. The two get stuck together. So when I start to slip out of my comfortable version of sanity, it's a bruised ego a little bit. It's like, why didn't I take better care of myself? What did I miss? What happened? And this time I can't really tell or pinpoint it. They're never going to monetize this. I'm talking about mental health. Might as well smoke. It is Smokey Steve and Mark after all. The two run into each other. Now, as the evening went on, we kind of course, had to decide, well, what are we going to do? Because sitting at home wailing and my thoughts are getting darker and darker as I'm doing this. I'm not hearing anything. It's not a symptom I have. For anyone who's new to the block, I have bipolar disorder. I was diagnosed about 2009, so about 10 years ago. And it's gone in and out of remission. And you have sometimes just one-off bad days and sometimes episodes. Well, if you're me, you do. Some people cycle differently. So, not sure what this is the start of, or is it just an isolated thing? So we get ourselves together and we drive to the hospital. Now the first bit of ego did drop. We went to a hospital where I used to do some work as a patient advocate, and I had always said I never want to go there. Never want to go to that hospital. I don't want to be on that psych unit because I know all the staff. How weird is that? And I probably know some of the patients who are going to be asking me to do the job I do when I'm well while I'm there. And there's something I know hospital staff whisper to each other. I've been in the room when they do it because I go into those rooms when they talk about patients. I've been in that space. And I didn't want that to be me, even though it happens to everybody. So I would have preferred to have been whispered about by strangers and not people I'd worked with before. So I had picked another place, but it seemed more urgent-ish. So got over that bit of ego. We drive to the hospital, and we sit in the parking garage for a while and debate, because I was kind of leaving it to Mark because I wasn't sure I was thinking so clearly. So we go, and then we sit in the car and we talk. And I'm, of course, getting hee-ho apprehensive because I'm like, okay, yeah, it's probably best to get evaluated. And then I'm thinking, what if they take me in? I'm going to be out of society for at least 3 to 5 days or so. And then, do I need to be in the psych ward? Is there a crisis unit? But it's so far away. But why is the good help far away? This isn't the time to think about advocacy. This is the time to get your ass some help. So, me being stubborn, and still having some of my resources and my wits about me, Mark did not try to take it out of my hands to decide what to do. So after staying at the hospital for a period, we just left and came home. Now there was a plan that we had to plan something in place. Now we do have protocols for when mental health things happen and I don't need hospitalization. So Mark let work know what was going on, that I was not in a place to be at work, and that I would follow up with them today, which I did. So he let them know last night, and I talked to them today. And they were very understanding, of course, and said, I said, my intention's to be at work tomorrow, Wednesday. I'm sure this is just, want to make sure this is just a blip on the radar yesterday. It was just a very bad day that started to snowball, but it's not the start of something big. And they were like, just keep us posted. Let us know if you need tomorrow. You need tomorrow. Your health comes first. And of course, in my head, I'm thinking, God, they're saying all the right things, and they mean that. And the law's on my side. And I do have a couple days left of PTO, paid time off, to use. But in the back of my head, all I'm thinking is, ugh, so dramatic. Ugh, so over the top. Here's another problem. Always problems with him, but that's me believing one thing even though I'm hearing another. Hence the paranoia. Hence I'm not doing as well. So called my parents, put them in the loop. So I called my mom last night and said, here's what's going on. And she was like, oh no, what did you film? I was like, no, I didn't film anything. I'm having a bit of a rough time. And my parents, are semi-retired at this point. My mom still works. Technically part-time, some weeks full-time. And my dad works less hours than when I was a kid, certainly. So if I needed company at some point during the day, I could call, and maybe one of them could come down and sit with me for an hour just to hang out in case I was lonely or squirrely or anything like that. And I have, fortunately, both my parents who are able to and willing to do that. So we brought them into the loop too. Emailed my my psychiatrist to let them know that was something that happened, and to keep them in the discussion as well. So it's been an interesting 24 hours. Today I laid very low. I slept in, but not too much. I got up and I was just watching news. Bandit was kind of wandering around. I was weepy this morning, again feeling guilty about... It was just a feeling of guilt. It was a feeling looking for reasons, if that makes any sense. There was no specific reason I felt guilty at the start. I just felt guilt. And then I started hunting for reasons that I should be feeling this way. Because certainly I can't just feel guilty without there being a reason. So I'm guilty because I'm not at work today. I'm guilty because Mark's at work and he might be worrying about me today. Oh, the other part of staying well, texting back and forth between Mark and I while he's at work. He has a position where fortunately he can have maybe some access to his phone a little bit. So staying in the loop with him. So I was pretty much tethered between my parents and Mark today, communication wise. My work, I just talked like I was suspicious of them, but frankly, if I needed something that you would call a friend for, I could call any of them, and they would help in that way. So that's another support that kind of kept me up in the meantime. Otherwise, I spent the day with YouTube friends and watched old videos of people I used to watch more religiously. Watched funny videos to try to keep my spirits kind of light, and just tried to ride it out. And again, as I relight my cigarette for the third time, this isn't okay. My ego's a little bruised. I'll say that, and I wish I felt better. And I don't like particularly. It's much more fun for me to come on camera and say, I'm doing well, I have a mental health issue, but I take very good care of myself, and this is how my life is now, and I have the job, and I have the apartment, and I have the partner, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and baby, look at me now, and so can you. And that's all well and good on most days. But for a lot of us who have mental health issues, there's days like this that happen often enough, and it turns into 1, 2, 3 days like this sometimes, or a month, or a year, or it's only an afternoon, and we still live. We get by. Everyone's got something in their life. Everyone's got that something. Some people have problems with their kids. Some people have problems managing money. Some people, spousal issues. Poverty, like the big stuff, spiritual crises, divorce, everyone's got something in their life that they have to pay a little more attention to in order to keep their life together. This is the little something I need to pay closer attention to keep myself together. So, have to look at this now as what was I doing and not doing before this dust kicked up, and what can I do going forward to take care of myself a little bit better. And the doctor comes in when it comes to the medication end of things. Is there anything that I was missing or not taking as directed? I was cool on the meds and what I was taking. So pretty sure on that end things were tight. So then I look at what was going on in my life at the time. Was I sleeping enough? This, that, and then try to pinpoint from there. So that's a little bit further down. At the moment I'm just doing symptom management, chamomile tea to calm the nerves down. Took a little nap after lunch just to catch up on some sleep. A heating pad is soothing no matter what's wrong. I swear, I would wrap it around my head in a very safe, if there a safe way. Not in the front, not to cut off my air, just because it feels warming to have it there. So that was the check-in that I just wanted to keep everybody keep everybody in the loop. Again, not saying poor pitiful me, please send prayers, or look at me for being so brave or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of let you know what was up, let you know that it's being addressed also, clear up cliffhangers, because I don't like when people are vague in videos and say, there's some stuff going on, but we can't talk about it right now. So I just wanted to nip that in the bud within a day as well. And also thank you guys for watching, too. This is tantamount to me to people, like, listening, talking. There's something therapeutic about talking out loud. And I know I'm just sitting here talking to my phone on a tripod, and I'm just sitting here talking to my phone on a tripod. But through the magic of YouTube, it's like we're having a conversation, sort of. So, to that end, I appreciate it. So, thank you all for listening and for watching. Please do subscribe, hit the like button. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and our contact info is all listed below. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching, and we will catch up with y'all tomorrow for Weigh In Wednesday. Bye.